Hello everybody, it's me, Jodie Marie, and welcome to the madness. Today's video is going to be a little bit different to the usual content, so I'm not going to be whispering or soft speaking, I'm literally just going to be talking. And the reason for this is because I made like a little story on YouTube and on Instagram, and I had a lot of requests for just a video of me talking, because a lot of people found it relaxing, and I think some people just like to hear me being real as well. So that's going to be today's video. I've got like a little notepad because a few people asked me questions that I'm going to be answering. I didn't get very many, so I'll just expand on what I was going to do anyway, and a little bit of tapping. This video has been an absolute nightmare to make. So yesterday when I was trying to record, there was like some roadworks going on, and today exactly the same, so it's just got quiet now. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the neighbours stay quiet and hopefully we can just have a peaceful chat. So let me get into it. So where's my first question? And the first question is, how did I find ASMR? So I have answered this question before in a question and answer video months ago, probably even a year ago now. It's when I first started, really, when I hit like one of my first milestones or something. But I'll just explain again for those that I ever seen that video, because it's probably like lost online or something. So I found ASMR when I was a kid. I was only young, I was at my nan's, and she whispered to me because we were talking through my granddad's programme, so she decided to whisper to keep me quiet but also to still talk, and then that's when I got tingles. And then I probably felt it a few times after that when my nan had whispered, but she's about the only one that ever whispered. She's played with my hair and like tickle my arm and things like that as well, but she's about the only one that did that. So that was my first experience. She probably did it a few times after, but nothing that really stuck out to me. And then it happened again when I was in high school, so I'd gone all that time without really experiencing it. And then it happened again in one of my classes, because in our class, well, I was in like a really naughty class where the kids just couldn't behave. And like I remember like one art class, a lad just literally cut a girl's hair off like from the ponytail. Absolutely crazy. That's the type of class I was in. So we used to have to sit like boy girl or dead silence, and this time it was like dead silence. So I'd asked a question, but because we weren't talking, the teacher just whispered to me, and then I felt ASMR again. And then I didn't think about it again for years, and then I was at my mum's house and my sister was there, and my sister just happened to mention that she got tingles, and like we were talking about the experience, and we'd never really spoke about having it before. Like we'd never really had a discussion about each of us feeling it. So and to be honest, I never took any notice of her saying this because I wasn't really a massive fan of YouTube then, but she did mention that people were whispering on YouTube to give people the tingling sensation, and I sort of ignored that part and then just concentrated on like discussing the experiences that we'd had and things like that. And so I completely forgot that she told me about people on YouTube. And then again, like 4 years later, I was kind of struggling in a job I was in. I wasn't enjoying it very much. It was stressing me out. I wasn't sleeping very well. And then I was getting anxious going there. So one night I was watching a YouTube video of makeup, and the advert come on, and she had like a really soft spoken voice, and it gave me tingles, and like it reminded me of that sensation. I thought that could help me relax. So I just like had a thought, if anywhere is going to have people whispering to us, it's going to be on YouTube. So I just googled whispering, and GB come up, and the first video I watched of GB was her tapping on a heart-shaped wine plug, so like a wine bottle plug is to keep your wine fresh, and she was tapping on that, and some of the tots and stuff as well. And that was like my video that I kept going back to. And then the second ASMR artist I found was Frivi, and then that's where I found the love for ear noms and mouth sounds and things like that. And then I just found more and more after that. So that's the story of how I came across ASMR, and then how I got into ASMR myself. So it was actually my husband that taught me into it, because I think he was just absolutely sick of me doing triggers to him, because I would pester him all the time, like literally just like tapping my nails in his ear and while he was playing games, and he was just like, stop, I can't take this anymore. Because like you get those that get relaxed from it, and then you get those that are just can't bear it whatsoever, and Nathan's like that. He just absolutely can't bear it. It makes him shiver. So I was just torturing him, and then he was just like, why don't you start your own channel and help people that actually like it? So that's what I did eventually. I mean, it took me a few weeks because I just forgot about it, to be honest, and then it just kept popping into my head now and again, thinking, oh, should I? And then I was like, nah, go. And then I did. I just set up my cat's frame. So my first video, well, first probably 50 videos were made on a cat's frame. I had like a massive cat frame with like a few tiers, and luckily it sat just perfectly on the second tier to record myself, and I just recorded myself on my phone. You could hardly hear me, it's embarrassing, but that's what's made me start, and they're still up, to be fair. So I never really thought it would get anywhere, so I wasn't really bothered. It's just something to keep me occupied. And then I don't know, people actually liked it and started watching it, so it got more serious, and I tried to do better. And now we're here with like, I don't know, 8 mics, lights. It's like a proper film studio in here. It's a tip, but it's my little space, and I love it. So that's the story of why I started ASMR, and I've probably gone a mile a minute there because I tend to talk fast when I talk in my normal accent. Also I tend to stutter. I'm like Gareth Gates before he had his speech therapy. Like, he can sing perfectly fine, but when he talks he stutters. I can whisper perfectly fine most of the time, but when I talk I stutter. So you'll probably see a few cuts in here as well where I just couldn't get my words out. Also, like, my brain doesn't seem to work as quick as my mouth wants to, so like sometimes the sentence just comes like all out jumbled, like the words will just be in a mixed up order. That's what I'm like. But when I whisper it's not so bad. I think because I'm trying to be slower, my mind can keep up with my mouth. But I just don't know what it is when I talk or call. Anyway, someone asked, how do I find the community in general? In general, it's positive, I would say. You know, we're very supportive of each other, ASMR artists, and I think the people that watch us are generally quite supportive. You know, sometimes there's going to be negative people. There's probably more negative people than positive, to be honest, a lot of the time. But I miss a lot of the drama. Like, I live in the Black Country, so every day is bloody drama. There's enough drama here to sink a god battleship. So I try and stay off it online because I just don't need it. So like, if I get negative comments and that, I just delete them. Half the time they probably don't even watch my stuff anyway. They probably just thought, oh, I'll comment here, and then just left a crappy comment. No idea why. Waste of time. But it's wasting their time, not mine, because I'll be there reading comments anyway. And as for like ASMR artists and positivity, I think in general it's quite positive. However, I think with certain social medias you can get more of a negative impact, but that is just that social media. I think most communities get negative responses on that social media because it's just somewhere that you can express your opinion quite easily. But in general, I tend not to focus on the negative, I just ignore it. So I find it quite positive. And to be fair, I think I'm quite positive. So one thing that someone might find negative, I don't find it negative, or I will take the positive out of the negative, if that makes sense. And also, I think it's personally, whether you take things personally or not, it's your own take on what's been said. Whether you decide to take it in a negative way or a positive way, I guess that's your choice. And if I take it in a negative way, maybe it's the mood I'm in. So I don't know. Generally, I think it's quite positive myself, but has negative aspects, like everything. Someone asked me, what do I do in my free time? And I answered, what free time? No, but on a serious note, I tend to see my friends, family. I play with my cats. I run around the living room with a bird on a stick, fake bird, obviously, and just run up and down the stairs and around the living room, around the kitchen, just playing with this bird so they chase it. And that's what I do in my free time. I watch some TV, but not very much, and I'll get more into that with the next question. So what series have I been binging on? So I don't really binge at all. I think the last time I binged was Breaking Bad, and that was out 6 years before I decided to binge on it. And we just used to watch it like every evening, every weekend, until it was completely finished. And I think that's the last series that we ever binged. I have watched Stranger Things. We binged that a little bit, but not a lot. And since then, I haven't really binged anything. We watched Spooks, which is an MI5 drama thing. That's been out ages. I've just started watching it now. And Modern Family. I really like Modern Family just because it's really funny, but again, that's been out ages and I've only just started watching it, so I don't really watch TV at all. And I think that stems from I lived on a narrowboat for 3 years and I don't have a TV, so I sort of got out of the habit, and then when we got a TV I never really got back into the habit, so that's that. And then someone asked, what are my favourite films? So my favourite films would be Alice in Wonderland. Of course, you're probably sick of hearing that. Sleeping Beauty. I love Sleeping Beauty. That's another Disney film. Pirates of the Caribbean is also another favourite. I prefer the first two just because I think they're less serious and more funny. But I do like them all. I've watched them all. I like the Bourne films. No, I have had to write these down because I'll only forget them. I forget the names of them. But yeah, I like the Bourne films. I like a bit of action. I like Red, which is Retired, Extremely Dangerous. You've probably heard of that. It's an old one. I like the scary movies because I really like silly comedy. And I like Airplane, which is an old comedy. The Grinch, anything with Jim Carrey in, to be fair, I like. Lucky Number 11, if you've not seen that, it is so good. I don't think it's very popular, but it's a really good film. There's a lot of twists and turns in it, and I really enjoy those types of films, so I really like that. And The Secret Window, because that's another one that twists and turns and it keeps you interested, and it's like an ending that you don't expect. Really enjoy those type of films. And then my favourite band is Fleetwood Mac. I always forget the names of things. I'm absolutely terrible. Like, I can describe things in the film, but if you ask me, I'm just like, I don't know. When some of these, I had to ask Nathan. I always have to like describe the film. Like, what's that film with all that action in? No, not that one though. The one that was like this, that type of thing. I'm absolutely terrible with names of everything. Like names of towns, names of people, names of cars. Names of films, names of songs. I could sing the song to you, but I don't know the name of it. And I love a bit of Justin Bieber as well. He's my guilty pleasure. Have I just really admitted that on YouTube? Yes, I did. That's it, I think. I like Rihanna. I'm a massive fan of like house music and things that I can dance to. I don't mind 80s music as well. Love a bit of ABBA. And that's it. People were asking me how my cats were. My cats are fine, naughty as always, but yeah, they're doing alright. Boris was in here earlier, so they're not really supposed to be in here because they always scratch at my backdrops, and I think I get to a point and I'm like, yeah, I can start trusting them again now because they have been mischievous for a while, and then the night that I trust them, they like rip at my backdrop. I had to replace this about 5 times, and then I just thought, you know, I'm not doing it again. Like, they're not coming back in, and then they snuck in, and I've got like claw marks here. But luckily, this one's a strong one, so it hasn't ripped it. But they also scratched at my green screen, and there's got holes in that, but it hasn't like completely teared it, so it does still work, thankfully. But honestly, they're absolute pests. They'd like drive me up the wall. And it's not like they ain't got no scratching material because I've got it everywhere. I put like carpet on the wall behind the sofa where you can't see it so they can scratch at it. And I put a bit on my hall stairs and landing near the post so they can scratch at it. And they still scratch at like stuff that they're not supposed to, like my sofas and the hall stair carpet when there's some on the wall. Like scratch. I literally spent ages doing it and they don't scratch at it, but they'll scratch at my bloody floor and my walls. They drive me up the wall, but I do love them so much. I do. Of course, stay mad at them, but I was very happy when this happened. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, but you know, it's just instinct to a mate. And Boris has this thing like of chewing bag handles. Let me show you actually. I don't know whether you can see it, but there's literally just like teeth marks in it. He just loves to sink his teeth in it. He did it to my sandals once as well. Like just chewed my soles. He's like a dog. He is more like a dog. Ralph is like, he's mischievous in the way that like he'll always try and jump out of windows that are like really high, you know, like small bathroom windows. Well, we've got a bathroom upstairs and he tries to jump out the tiny bathroom window and there's like a massive drop the other way and he worries me to death, but that's what he always does, so we have to try and keep the bathroom closed. Literally, you just ain't got a life. It's like having kids. You just gotta keep an eye on them all the time. But yeah, that's my bag, and that's what he does to all of them, so I have to hide these and all now. But yeah, other than that, they're the best. To be fair, like, they're really cuddly. Boris does love a good cuddle, and Ralph loves a good fuss as well, so we're really lucky in that sense because like most of the time it's on cat's terms. Like, they only want fuss when they want it, but they are pretty cuddly, so. But they are really funny. They do make us laugh. Boris was like, they make this like chirping noise, and there was pigeons on the like electrical pole, and he was just staring out the window for ages, like chirping at these pigeons, and they weren't like taking a blind bit of notice, and you could tell he was just getting so frustrated, and it was just hilarious to watch. Sometimes I catch it on film, and then other times, as soon as I get my camera out, it stops. So it's not always on Instagram. When I can get it on, I do. So that's it then, I think. I've answered my questions, you've heard me talk, and I don't do much tapping. I think I just got too into the questions and answering. I love this material though, for sticky triggers. I think it's like fake leather, and it's like cushioned, but I just love how sticky it is. Anyway, I'll love you and leave you. I hope that I can get this out on time. So I wrote a message on my community page saying that it won't be ready, but fingers crossed it will be. So if you're seeing this on Sunday, ignore my community post. And if you are, then ignore what I'm saying now and just get yourself to sleep. Or whatever you're doing. After this, I don't think you'll be able to sleep. You'll be traumatised for life with the accent. Or you'll be trying like so hard to try and understand what I'm saying that you won't be able to get to sleep. The most unrelaxing ASMR video. And I brought it to ya. See you later. Bye.